Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Fluency Matters podcast. I am here with Dr. Michelle Kent, and we have a special guest with us as well today. We have Sarah Breckley, Spanish teacher extraordinaire, and she's also one of our Fluency Matters Conference Strand guides. So we're going to talk a little bit today about what that even is, and we're also going to get to know Sarah a little bit better. So Sarah, welcome to our little podcast.
Welcome. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. It's not little. I've seen so many great things. So thank you for all your work.
Oh, thank you for all your work. We love everything that you do, which is why we wanted you to be a part of our conference this summer. But so tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of your teaching journey. Like, how did you get started? How did you get into using ADI in your classes? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Let's see. So I've been teaching for 15 years, and I'm very proud of the World Language Program that they have at UW-Madison. They do a great job. Their courses were full of, all the research, and we experimented with tons of methods and strategies, from like communicative and comprehensible strategies to just pace grammar discovery. But when you're first starting, you don't have enough of those minute by minute activities to fill, a class. Like you have the two things that you think are really fun, that are really communicative, are really comprehensible, and you just use those too much. And the students are always like, we just played this game. And so I have this big bag of tricks that when I lesson plan every night, and it just has gotten bigger and bigger. And what I found over time is I think students achieve the most in their language abilities when they're impressed with how much they can understand and do right off the bat. So they have to know right in Spanish 1, oh my gosh, I'm learning a language already. And to me, my experience over the years has been that comes with storytelling and games. So those facilitate lots of comprehension and lots of excuses for them to talk in a setting that makes sense. Games are fun, they're competing, they like their classmates. And stories gives them a lot of things to talk about. So my pendulum has gone lots of different ways over my career, but I think that's what I stick to the most is have fun, tell stories, and talk about them.
Yeah, awesome. So, I feel like I've had a similar teaching journey. To even say that I've ever followed a method would almost be a joke, because I feel like I've always just been searching for whatever's going to work, what is going to keep these kids happy and engaged for an hour? Okay, I will try anything if it's going to keep them into it for an hour. So I also am a little bit, I know that you get uncomfortable when people fangirl over you, but we are fans of yours, Sarah, and we know you're a little bit YouTube famous, actually kind of a lot YouTube famous. How did you get started? Did you set out to become YouTube famous? What was that all about?
I'm so embarrassed right now. YouTube famous. I'm sure my students will watch this and be like, "Come on." I love you. You're such a kind
Oh my gosh.
I think anyway. So it kind of happened accidentally. So I feel like if I were a mom, I'd be that scrapbooking mom. I have every photo from choir in high school, And so it happened by accident. We just have so much fun in our classes, and I love videography, photography. So whenever anything fun would happen in our classes, I would take pictures and videos, and I would send it home to parents. It really helped with community. When I get out my camera, they'd be like, "We're about to do something fun. I know it." And it just helped with the mood. That I felt what we were doing here is worthy of documentation. Not just sports and baseball, but the learning here in this school is worthy of something we should be proud of. And so it started like that, and the community saw things, parents saw things, and then a few years later, our school got into just social media marketing of ourselves. If you want a referendum to pass, if you want parent involvement, you should show them your district is doing good things. So we hired a social media manager, and all the kids had consent forms. And I think if in the beginning I knew that their faces would be everywhere, even with the consent forms, I would have blurted out. But at the time it was just here we are with our families doing our local thing. And I live in a small town and everybody knows everybody. Anyway, they had permission. And then at some point in these videos, I would start getting comments from these teachers and they would just have a million questions. And it was just consuming so much time. And I was like, oh, teachers are finding these. That's cool. And so then I started adding explanations with the activities. And then they was all on YouTube. And then I just made a blog to categorize it. And that's that. And sometimes I do a lot, sometimes I do a little. At first it was like, oh, I need to pump out a lot of videos. But I just do now what makes me happy. So if we're doing something in class and I have time to edit a video, then I edit it. But I probably have like 50, no joke, like on these big like portable drives, like 50 filmed activities like I've never spoken of. But the editing and stuff to like get that out there just takes a lot of time. So when I'm always videoing, and when I have time to edit, I will. But for me to keep doing this, I just do it like when I have time, when I like feel the spirit. So I'm not consistent, but it's fun. I would like to say one more thing though too. I feel like we always talk about equity in education and equity for students and like equal playing fields. But like lots of districts don't send their teachers anywhere, and they don't have the money. And it's the same districts a lot of times where the community doesn't have money. And so we talk about ACTFL and this conference, which I'm going to and I'm going to be a part of, and we have scholarships and all the things that we do. Yes, yes, yes. But these videos, like thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of teachers are watching them, and they can do them the next day, and they're really easy to like comprehend and do. And I always feel myself explaining it. Like even new teachers, like you don't have the language you need, you're not confident, like literally just copy my words. You could write down all the words I say and you just act like that. And I just feel like it really is a way to even out the playing field for students and teachers alike if you just put stuff out there for free. And people always ask like I presented a lot of conferences, but I also just don't sometimes. Like I go to ACTFL, I never even apply at ACTFL because I just like to go and party and have fun. And way more people will see the videos and I don't want to be all stressed. So I just go and hang out with my friends, and I just put a video out the week before to help myself feel better about it. I don't even apply.
I just smart.
Well, I mean, it's cool. Like I would appreciate the prestige and like a crowd that claps for you. Like no one claps for me.
We do. At
home they do. Write comments. Okay, they just write comments like, you made an error. It's not MRSA colon is a date. Like. I know you're the 17th person. I just delete it every time. Like you're not the first.
So you get
anyway.
You get some mean comments sometimes. You get mean comments?
Oh yeah, all the time. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I always tell myself like, you're welcome for showing you what not to do. De nada, that was free. If you don't like something, so
that's a good way to look at it.
So I have to show you.
Story.
I just have to show you. I have this little sign on my desk, and I think I love what you just said. Do more of what makes you happy. Like I literally have this on my desk because I want to think about it every day. Like I'm done with doing things that don't make me happy.
I love that.
It's amazing.
I mean, obviously,
short.
I still have to scoop the litter boxes and stuff like that, but I mean, that makes my cats happy. So I do sometimes make others happy as well, but.
And your cats make you happy, right?
They do. Yes. Yeah. So, but I digress.
So Sarah, you talked a little bit about conferences. You mentioned going to conferences and the privilege of going to a conference. How has conference attendance for you made an impact on your teaching? Your own personal conference attendance?
Yeah.
And I know I've seen you at lots of conferences. We've been at the same ones.
Yeah, it's like an addiction. It's really a problem. There's too much fun. My husband always says, you're going on vacation again. I'm like, I'm sorry that I love my job so much that I
have the same
enjoy
problem
doing.
With my husband.
He's like, you're having fun, too much fun there. I'm like, you should have picked if you're not obsessed with your job, like you can change, like you can go or join us. But I just feel like in college, like I had a great college experience, but everything they teach you is just a blank slate. You have no context. Like you have no experience to use this, like reflect and problem solve. And so when you're done with college and you don't want to pay all of that money and like a conference or a workshop comes up and it's the exact thing that you want to work on, you go, and then like your whole career, you're still progressing and still feeling good about yourself because you're doing so much more for your students than you did in the beginning. And I like that. I love looking. I'm embarrassed. Like if I see my students at the store that I had in the beginning, I'm so sorry. Well, also, like I'm so proud. Like I am not that girl anymore. I am, every year I'm better. And so I feel like at these conferences.
Those kids still thought you were awesome too, though. Like they didn't know what future Mrs. Breckley was going to be able to do. Like they just knew how awesome you were right then, So you still made an impact.
Well, that's true. And especially like if you're loving and kind, like most of them don't know the difference. Yeah.
No. They don't remember any more Spanish because of that. It has to do with you and who you are.
I think you're right. I think you're right. If you show them that you care and that this is important and that there's it can be a fulfilling task. So I don't know. I just feel like I've come so far, and every time I leave a conference and I do new things, I feel so good about myself. And you have to have pride in what you do, right? That like grit, that drive. Like they're not paying me enough for me to go home and not feel like good job, Sarah. Like I have to like see students, achieving great things and like seeing my role in that to stay here. And so conferences help me do that. Things I used to do that are still great, I'm bored of them. So I just need someone else to get my wheels turning, to question myself, to be contradictory, all those things I can find at conferences. And there's so many different people who are so smart providing those, contradictory ideas. That's my favorite thing.
Yeah, I agree with you. I love to have discussions and be like, what if we tried this? Like, what would happen if this was our goal, or this is how we would change what we do, or would make it different? I love thinking through that kind of stuff and chatting and just sort of like dialoguing about what types of activities we could try, or what should we be going for? I don't know. I agree with you. Those controversial, or not controversial, but those conflicting ideas are really fun to discuss with people and to look at on both sides. So I am very excited that you're coming to the conference this summer, and you are going to be a strand guide, which we had a hard time coming up with that name, but we like it now. And the strand guide is a role that is new, kind of the way we've organized our conference. And I have explained it to Sarah because it was kind of my invention, but she has taken it to a level, and I want her to explain what she's excited about as she is planning to be a strand guide this summer.
Yeah, I love the like personal connection that happens over time when you're learning with the same group of people together. I feel like I never appreciated that more than during COVID. I mean, everybody knows that, but now I'm just like, oh my gosh, like people are supposed to be connected to each other. When you talk about like mental health and like a reason for living, like when you're smiling with people, like going through a journey together, it's so special. The struggle or fear that comes with like learning new things seems more conquerable when you're like at a group, like pedagogical boot camp situation. And I love like conferences in the cloud. I think they're important and less expensive, and moms, people with disabilities, people who their principals won't let them go anywhere. It's important, but I feel like it's something that you can't get in another, like in a cloud conference. As a strand leader, like specifically, it's like a camp counselor, which I'm usually a camp counselor somewhere every year. It just, it's like someone you can trust to chat about your doubts, like the details, the questions after you learn, like maybe I like the idea of like being able to be proud of someone when they have a light bulb moment. And like so many times I've been to a conference and they use acronyms or they say things and I just like don't trust the presenter. I'm like, that's impossible. Like really? And I want to talk to somebody who's an expert so I can just be like, prove it. Or like, what do they mean by that? Because that's stupid. And sometimes you just need someone to like digest the like language with. Like for example, like when I first started like CI, like I'm the person, someone says there's a good method over here, there's a good method over here, I just like woo, like I will follow anything. Like I should be in a cult by now. But like, I remember so many conferences, like all these presenters would say like, I have no vocab lists, we do not teach grammar, like all these things, and I was just like, what? Like I don't understand, like I don't, what? And so then I realized like, okay, maybe you do have no vocab list. I'm looking right in the camera. Maybe you do. But I've never actually met a teacher who doesn't have a vocab list at all these conferences. Maybe it's targeted and it's smaller and it's worthwhile and it's not like stockings, but they have target structures. Like it's not every AR verb, but they have like words in mind. They have some structure or chunk or something in mind. And so that like really threw me off for a while. And so I was just like, I'd go into class just like, whatever happens. And then they're like, no grammar. But like no grammar doesn't mean what I thought it meant when I started coming to things like this. Like no grammar doesn't mean like you never can point out things. You can never have a grammar lesson. Like I have grammar lessons. But the point was everything fun that we happened today, like that, according to the students, the fun that we had today, the games, the stories, all of that, this enjoyable moment we had together was the purpose of the class. Now let's dissect this a little bit and see if we can do some of this stuff. And so I think as a camp counselor, I feel like it's like come on guys, come on. Like, what are your questions? What are you confused about? And then you can say things in different ways. That maybe a teacher, when they're just like trying to give you everything they have, can't speak in everybody's language at the moment.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. I think it's going to be super worthwhile. I don't know.
I think you're going to be great at it.
Thank
I think
you.
you're going to be great. I'm excited for you to do it and to really like bring to life this idea, this vision that I had for how we can really help people move from point A to point B in the conference in their learning. And it's exactly spot on, exactly what I want, the role that I want the Strand Guide to play in helping the various groups to make the connections that they need to make. So I'm super excited that you're doing that with us.
Thank you. Thank you
Sarah,
for inviting me.
I have one last question for you, and I feel like I kind of know how you're going to answer this based on some of the other things that you've said. But so we're going to be in St. Pete, Florida. What are you most excited about in terms of visiting St. Pete?
Well, I'm allergic to the sun, but are you about like the city specific? Yeah. Well, it has to be like 2 days in a row, like accumulated hours. Not like, I'm melting like a vampire. But anyway, do you mean St. Pete specifically? Because I have some ideas. Or do you mean the conference?
Yes. Either or, whatever you feel like answering.
So my favorite thing about St. Pete's is that I won't be all bundled up. I love the beach. I'm super excited about all the food. I live in a really small town that doesn't have very many options. I'm super excited because I'm in an Airbnb with lots of friends, like Anne-Marie Chase, for example. Let's see what else. Just the fact that we'll all be together is what I'm most excited about. And St. Pete's is friggin' awesome. It's gonna be great. And the good thing is since I'm allergic to the sun, we'll spend most of the worst part of the day together outside of the sun, and then I can enjoy the beach. We did it last time. Like we all went out at night. It was a blast.
It's beautiful.
And the beach in the evening is so beautiful too. Like you don't have to go and like take in all the rays. I mean, it's beautiful in the evening. And it's July, so we might be better off being at the beach in the evening. So
everybody, like, are we gonna have an app? Are we doing an app for this? What's happening?
We are.
Yes.
Is this
You'll be
that kind of
hearing
app?
about that soon.
Okay, good. Will it have like chatty things?
Yes.
Okay, so then we'll be like, we're going to the beach. Yeah, see you there.
Yes, for sure. Very social.
Yeah.
Well, Sarah, I cannot thank you enough for joining us today. It's been so fun talking with you. And honestly, just talking to you makes me feel that much more excited about the summer and the conference. And I just can't wait to see you in person.
I just love you guys. Thank you so much for having me. I'll have to be honest, like I wasn't super excited about this because my opinions, like I just don't find a lot of value in them. Like when I share an activity, I'm proud of that. But now that I'm here, I'm like, the more we talk about it, the more people will come and the more students that will benefit. So all of this makes so much sense. I'm so excited we did this. Thank you for watching. So excited.
Thank you for being here.
I don't know what else I can say on that note. So bye, everybody.
Love you.
Bye. Love you too.